It's classic movies and more.
Hi, I'm Rob Madaska from Classic Movies and More, and today we remember the greatest of all time, Don Rickles. Don Rickles, to me, was the greatest stand-up ever. He could say whatever, whenever, however. I remember as a kid growing up watching The Tonight Show. He was always on the night before Thanksgiving, and I'd make sure specifically to stay up just to watch him. I mean, Don Rickles was an event, and there's not many people who are events. He transcended the roasts. He did TV. I seen him live over a dozen times. He was fantastic. I just saw him last year in 2016 in Morristown, New Jersey, and he was sharp as a tack then. He couldn't move much, but he was sharp as a tack. To me, the greatest stand-up that ever lived. I got two quick Don Rickles stories. First one was we went to Atlantic City. This had to be mid-'90s, my buddies and I, and we went to go see Don Rickles. A friend of mine who was in my comedy group at the time. We sat there and we were at the bar for a good while, having a good time, just telling stories and stuff. We got to the Don Rickles show. There was 5 of us. My brother was included. We get there. We have front row seats. My arm is on the stage. So I was sitting there. I'm just leaning up against the stage with my back to Rickles. Of all the people in the world, he picks out my brother, like one of the shyest guys ever to go up on stage to do his World War II routine. I was in shock. All right, and then, needless to say, the beers I had completely were gone as I stood in space staring. We get down. Rickles says, "Great job" to my brother, and to the other guy who was part of the act. He goes, "All right, we're gonna give you a bottle of champagne to each of them." Show ends, no champagne comes. My friend who was sitting there, who had quite a few beers at the time, says, "We're not leaving until we get that champagne." We sat there about a half hour. Some big muscle guys came in and out. I don't know. They were cousins, I guess. And then finally we got our champagne. It's a simple bottle with the Don Rickles label slapped over the top. That was fantastic, but it was an awesome time. My second story and final story, and I'll leave you guys with, is I met actually Don Rickles in Englewood, New Jersey. We had gone to see a show. We go to dinner right next door. I just got a feeling there's a backstage entrance from there into the restaurant. He's showing up. I know he's showing up. This is like about 10 o'clock. 10:45, Don Rickles walks in with his entourage, his manager. A few celebrities were there at the time. I think former president of NBC, Grant Tinker, I believe, was there. Susan St. John was there. And they all come in there seated at this table. So I get on the phone. I call my buddy. I'm like, "Listen, if you're ever going to see Rickles, you better get down here tonight." So he flies down, gets to Englewood. We sit there. He goes up to his manager. He says, "Can we come over and just get a picture or a story?" He goes, "Yeah, no problem, but just wait until after dinner." So we wait. It's about 1 o'clock or so, quarter to 1, and they start to move out. So the manager gives the sign to come on over. So we go over. I take my buddy's camera, friend of ours who was with us. I take the camera and I take a picture of him standing next to Don Rickles. 1, 2, 3, nice and simple. My other friend comes over and takes a picture of me and my buddy standing next to, arm in arm with Don Rickles right next to us. And he has no clue on technology, completely clueless. So he's fumbling, going with the phone, nothing. We're there, we're waiting. And Rickles, again, without missing a beat, goes, "What the hell is this, a picture or an oil painting?" So he flips the picture. We got our picture. It was completely blurry. Even that, I can't win. But those are my Don Rickles stories. Again, this is Classic Movies and More. I'm Rob Madaska. And this is just our few-minute tribute to, in my opinion, the greatest comedian, the greatest stand-up of all time. And there will never be another Don Rickles.